suddenly you have more things to write. Okay, so GDP impacts. My first point is inflation hurts X minus N, and FDI, therefore, lower real GDP. And I said from here, if you're not sure, you check back to the notes that you did for GDP. They should be there. You took down those notes, okay, some time ago. We always say assume population growth, right? Which is the same point. Then real per capita falls, therefore material standards fall. And let's be clear, current. Okay? Then I said there are always two automatic links to non-material standards. Do you remember? There are always two automatic links because when there's lower real GDP, your pollution may fall. They say now China is not very polluted. Why? Especially in Wuhan. Because you are not allowed to drive around. So pollution actually fell. Okay? Then the other thing, the other link to non-material standards, what is it? You all remember? But when you say GDP changes, there are two automatic links to non-material standards. Essential goods and services come from think of Mary goods. Quality, not yet. But from real GDP, we always have two automatic links. Yeah, remember? This one is government budget worsens, right? Because they have to give out more welfare, so they have less to spend on healthcare and education. Therefore, non-material standards worsen. Okay? And I think, yeah, okay. Then of course, yes. Stress, okay, good question. Stress, I tend to use it only in one direction, higher stress. When GDP goes up, higher stress. I don't want to say when GDP goes down, they lose their jobs, they go shopping. So that one I tend to drop. Okay, so I tend not to say because GDP is lower, they are not so stressed. They don't have work. Yeah, no stress. They are more stressed. They want to put food on the table. So I think stress, I typically use it for higher GDP. Then you work more, then you're more stressed. The other way around, you can drop. Okay? Okay, so this is future, right? I think we mentioned this because quantity of capital goods is compromised. Okay? Actually, what I'm doing here is the same as what I did for the GDP structure back then. Okay? Because if you remember, I said G is the biggest paragraph. You have to show a diagram, you know. The diagram illustrates how you have, let's say, lower investments, lower AD. So you have to explain. Explain this diagram. There's rigor. Okay? And what do you define? I think if you want, you define GDP. Okay. If not, you drop the definition, it's okay. So explain the diagram. Other explanations like assumptions, we have it here already. Okay. If you have examples, you can put in. Although I thought examples here are quite there already. Spending on healthcare, spending on education, pollution. If you want to say, you can say, wherever there's a slowdown, car ownership falls, pollution falls, but nothing very specific. Okay?
So,
Yes.
about the AD increasing, do we have to say multiplier, reverse multiplier?
Yes, but don't need numbers. Here you just keep it quite short because the one, if you have time, you can bring in the multiplier in a bit more detail. But I think this essay, I am actually more inclined to spend time on inflation if low can increase my FDI. Not just FDI lah, I also. If you have low inflation, right, because investors expect higher profits, therefore AD can go up. Okay, therefore real GDP can go up, but keep this point quite short. Okay, therefore material standards can improve. There's no need to repeat every single point of it. Just keep it quite general. So this gives me a bit of balance. I think last time I mentioned before, under GDP, you try to consider how GDP can go up, how it can go down, if possible. Remember I showed you GDP, then I show you where's the balance. Okay. But you have to look at the notes you took down. Oi. You have to at least mention that GDP falls by a multiple. At least. Okay? Now, what is D? GDP, we have D. What is it? Deco, very good. And I say under Deco, you focus on one single alphabet. Okay. All the old things are coming back. Composition of GDP. Distribution of GDP. Remember we said we need complementary indicators? So the complementary indicators here are your Gini coefficient and composition. Composition, of course, we are going to consider consumer goods versus capital goods. It seems like GDP is someone with a very big heart, can accommodate everyone. This structure can accommodate any question. Okay, so here we already saw how inflation can reduce inflation, can reduce investment. Yeah. Then distribution, we also talked about how you have redistribution of income, remember? Part of fixed asset owners, lenders and borrowers, so it will affect income distribution. There are winners and losers. Okay, one of the consequences of inflation, which I showed you earlier, is redistribution of income. So of course, there's a direct link here. B, find victims, beneficiaries. Are there any other victims, any other beneficiaries? So of course, you can bring in menu cost, shoe leather cost, retailers suffer. Savers suffer. Okay. There's no need to write again an exhaustive answer. But if your answer has the GDP, AD, and